Good morning, and welcome to another episode. What is this? Maybe 50, 61, maybe? Episode 61, Morning Ritual for Guitar Growth. And I am Jason Carey. I will be your host for this morning if you indeed choose to stick around. I want to just take a minute to get started and set an intention for our, let's see. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning. I wonder if we're live yet. It seems like we might be live already. Let's be sure about this. Just confirm it. So here's what, oh, good morning, Kevin. Yes. Good morning, Scott. Amis. Good morning, Mark. And good morning, Rahul. Hey, Rahul. What's going on? Good morning. I've been really digging what's going on your channel, Rahul. Thank you for sharing that with us. Good morning, Dan. Just working on the old A440. And now we get the, let's go ahead and fire up the metronome just to say good morning, metronome too. Metronome is a huge part of what we do, so we'll go ahead and say good morning, metronome, and we'll take this moment to breathe in, just one good breath in, and one good solid breath out. And what I'll do is I'll just set my intention for the practice today, and you can also set an intention for your practice today if you'd like. And it could be, maybe you just want to get through the session. Maybe you just want to get this done. Maybe it's, the time said 4:09. Oh, did it really? I had to start early as I have to go at 8. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Good morning. All right, so we've got Sky Animates, Mark, Raul Mequena. Raul Sky Animates is here. Dan, good morning from the north. Robbie, good morning, Robbie. Good morning, Bernard. Good morning, kind sir. Mark, Dan, and Charlene. Hey, we have a new live chatter here, so welcome. Free account. How many days sober? That's a good question. Good morning, Wayne McFarland. Top of the day to you, Jason, and good morning to all. So, Shalene, welcome to, if you're just tuning in, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. We have the metronome set at 60 beats per minute, and what I like to do is just focus on a warm-up period for my guitar day. This is the thing that precedes all other things. So this is the thing that I do before I start really playing the guitar. So this is just an everyday thing for me. And yes, some of us stay, we play so much every day that we pretty much stay perpetually warm. But I like to go through this because it's an awareness workout. It's a breath workout. It's a way for me to personally expand my capacity as a guitarist, as a practitioner of the guitar. And I really like to do that. This is what it's all about for me. So I assume that if it's about that for me, it might be about that for others. So that's what we're doing here for the most part. By and large, we do have coming up, we have some follow-ups from our Cliffs of Dover experience yesterday, so we do have some follow-ups from that today. We are going to get a little bit into practicing minor pentatonics today and planing those minor pentatonics, at least the shapes, the one or two shapes that everybody knows. And we're going to use those as planing tools today as part of our morning ritual warm-up. But we do this every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and Eastern Standard Time during that time of year. And so what we do, oh, tune up. Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure that we're tuned up. Get all excited here. So we're using this moment to check our posture. We're using this moment to check the tune of the guitar. I feel like I really need to work on warm-ups. I've got my pick hand is just moving around, really clunky movements this morning. So that's really got to be corrected. And hopefully we'll get that corrected here before too long. So 1 E and a 2, we're going to use fingers 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12 just to get started. Starting at 60 beats per minute, 4 attacks per beat. And you're more than welcome to join us. What I think is happening here is, oh, Anthony's on board. Good morning, Anthony. We have just the guitars in hand, and the point is to work on practicing these exercises together, and we'll start now. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. That's great. Yeah, you can email me at jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com, and with any of those inquiries, that's great. My person or another person will review those emails and then see what the ask is. If you have a proposal, that's great. Love to hear about that. Working on Ripple and Stillwater last night, been a long time. Super fun. Played in G, very cool. G is for gangsta. Grateful gangsta. I forget if I have that song on my channel or not. If I don't, I should. So 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a fingers 2 and 3 on 11 and 12. Just working on really trying to get with my pick hand at this point. I'm not moving either of my toes, my legs, contrary to popular belief. I don't always have a tambourine under my toes. But I do like to let the metronome do the heavy lifting once in a while and just be observant. It's similar to the way we might run transcription, is to observe the metronome going by, just be observant of time passing, and how all of the notes that I'm playing, that you're playing, relate to the passage of time. And the electric guitar is a completely different animal, isn't it? It's just a beautiful, beautiful experience to be part of a culture a space and time where we have electric guitars to play. Fingers 1 and 2, let's try that, 11 and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a D and a O. So I'm really working on minimizing my picking hand approach while maintaining my breath, my quality breath. And certainly just awareness of my breath. if I grip the pick as tightly as I can. Well, number one, it will not fall out of my hand onto the stage. It will stay in my hand, but it will have a different impact on the strings because we will be transferring energy more directly from the pick to the string. Now, if I hold the pick a little lighter, I have a little less control. There's a little bit more movement in the picking hand. The pick wobbles, but it is a different tone, and it's really easy for me to get excited and overlook that simple difference, those simple differences between gripping the pick. So fingers 3 and 4, once again on frets number 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a T and a 4. Let's get the like numbers going today, crew. Dan, that's great. Love that. What are we at? 9 likes. So if you're here, and if you're not here, well, I guess we can't do much about it. But if you are part of this live video and you really think that you know a friend of yours who could benefit from, would be interested in benefiting from, a regular scheduled program of practicing the guitar as a warm-up instrument in the warm-up process, we definitely could, appreciate a sharing or making known that this is available in the mornings. Certainly couldn't hurt anything. But I firmly believe that everyone who is going to be here will be here, and certainly will be here for the remainder of 2025. 1 E and a 2 fingers, 2 and 3, go. Oh, MV. Chad Atkins, very cool, very good on the draw, quick on the draw this morning. Those second and third fingers are, there we go, talking like a pirate again this morning, they are really getting to us, they really are something that we want to pay careful attention to, because these are 2 fingers that we'll start with. We started a new stretch pattern yesterday, and we're going to start a new stretch, we're going to fold that old pattern in this morning. Plus we'll add a new stretch pattern. But by the end of this session, we will be in the last 15 minutes or so, we'll be, neck deep into the Eric Johnson Cliffs of Dover warm-up process. So 1 E and a 2 E and a T, 1 and 2, 11, 10, 11. 1 and 2, fingers 1 and 2, 10, 12. 3 E and a go E and a, yeah, Salates, good morning. Johnny Cash is Hurt. That's a great, great album, great recording. I love how on that album, those albums, as he was sort of reaching the end, he takes all of these those songs that have 5 or 6 different really colorful chords in them, and he basically reduces those songs to 3 chords, triadic chords, typical Johnny Cash style. Just really great at taking the song, taking the piece of music and moving it from a place, that you found it, and absorbing it, assimilating it, and then repurposing it as something that is your own. That's a really, both he and Alison Krauss is really great at doing that too. Really great at just turning the songs into their own things, right? So fingers 2 and 4, we're just going to continue down this stretchy road. Fingers 2 and 4, 9 and 12. 1 and a 2 E and a T and a 4. There we go, just starting over again. Just getting that right hand, that picking hand sort of dialed up. I think I've got its number now. And then I'm also working that fret hand. That fret hand is really starting to comply with the stretches that I'm asking it to do. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that joy, but I'm definitely experiencing that joy. What I'm trying to do when I reach the top of that pattern where we come back to the high E string and then we shift positions up, I want to try not to just pop that high E string off of the, sometimes I get excited as I get up to the top of the string set and it will cause me to pluck harder, but I don't really need to do that. I have better tone if I pluck lighter at the high end of this. You know, there's not a whole lot of mass there. So the tone is better if I just kind of lay back a little bit on the pick. So 1 and a 2 E and a T, fingers 1 and 3, same thing. Fat Sal 619, Roy Orbison. Yeah. So what is that? Only the lonely. Kiss, I mean, come on, just really beautiful repertoire. If you're just tuning in, I wanted to take a minute and welcome you, dear Fat, and others, to the morning ritual for guitar growth right here at Jason Curry Guitar. So, if this is something that you would like to do, I would encourage you to grab a guitar. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. This time of year it's Eastern Daylight Time. If that makes a difference to you, and maybe it does. So I would encourage you to bring a guitar, show up and play along with this warm-ups. Firstly, we dial in, thank you very much for the compliment on the guitar. Well, firstly, we dial in 60 beats per minute on the metronome. Let this run its course, and until the battery runs out, I guess it will continue to run its course. Sir, how to practice bar chords for beginners. The cool thing about this live chat is there are a lot of guitar players here who are accomplished, who are totally capable of answering these guitar-related questions. And so don't hesitate to ask those questions, but what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about how to practice bar chords for beginners as we start this next finger exercise. So stick around, you might like what you see. So we were on fingers, let's see, 1 and 3. Now let's go ahead and do fingers 1 and 4, but we'll kick that back. We'll stretch it from, we'll start on position number 12. And 12 and 14, 15, 16, okay? 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. Mi, mi, do, mi, mi, do. Right now I get a solfege. Solfeggio, right? It would be, if it was me, it would be M-I, right? So it's maybe that's not solfege. I'm trying to figure out your YouTube handle. So if I start with bar chords, the first thing that I want to do is develop some, I want to be aware. But a bar chord experience can be a very challenging experience, right? So it's a very challenging experience, potentially. So what I need to do is I need to, before I remember learning bar chords and thinking, this is going to be a challenge, this is going to be a real challenge. So I'm going to rise to the challenge by learning some finger independence first. So let me show you I'll show you what we can do, even if we do not have a guitar in hand. how to get that, how to, while we might be at work, in the office, or on the road, in the automobile. How to practice that finger independence, So we'll talk about that right now. So I really like to keep this thumb as my fretboard. So the fretboard, let's imagine that these fingers are my fingers. Thumb is the fretboard of the guitar, and I'm just working on getting one finger there, basically leaving all fingers unused, and then just reaching to the fretboard and coming back, fingers 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then fingers 1 and then 3, and then 2, and then 4, and then 2, 3, 1, 4. And you can create all of these exercises. You could use fingers 1 and 3, you could use 1 and 2, you could use 2 and 4, you could use 3 and 4. You can use all of these exercises. You could even work on playing through the minor pentatonic. E, G, A, B, D, E, E, G, A, B, D, E, G, D. And then we come back down the shape this way until we get to the end. I was actually playing F minor pentatonic. So that's a good place to start, right? Now what we need to do is remember that we have this first finger barring over all of the 6 strings, right? So all of the 6 strings, and then now what we need is the capabilities to keep one finger straight and then barred and the other fingers arched. So that exercise is really important to do, and you don't need a guitar to practice bar chord technique. Just I'm working on keeping the thumb behind the neck, first finger barring all of the strings, stopping all of the strings, and then keeping that straight while we arch all of the other. As soon as I arch this finger, I want to arch my first finger. But what I remember to do is take my time and breathe, and then arch all of the other fingers while maintaining the straightness of that individual finger. Okay, so that's a challenge that you could work on for a few hours a day, or a few hours over the span of a week maybe. So let's go ahead and take a look at fingers 2, 3, and 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12. We're right back into it. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a O E and a... Faster. I can't get past 90 beats per minute on my metronome. I've got all my shapes down and root notes, but I can't seem to get faster than 90 yet. Yeah, I understand that feeling, Trey. We'll talk about that a little bit too. Are you working, what are you working on at 90 beats per minute? Are you working on, hopefully you're not working on quarter notes. Are you working on 8th notes, 16th notes, quintuplets? Are you working on 4 attacks per beat, 6 attacks per beat? I'm not really sure what we're talking about. 16th note triplets at 90. Yeah, I wouldn't rush it. I think just little bursts of, maybe jump it up to 94 and push yourself for like a couple of, maybe a minute or two, and then come back to 90, and then just keep. It's like when you're learning how to sprint, or when you're learning endurance, anything, is you do the telephone poles. So you're out there jogging, and you're sucking wind, and then you realize, oh, well, there's a telephone pole. I can sprint that distance, but then after that, I'll come either back to a walk, or I'll come back down to a jog. And then before you know it, you're sprinting 2 telephone poles. So it's really just a matter of just walking, sprinting a pole, walk the next pole or 2, sprint another one, and then just kind of keep dialing it back in. So I work on that problem, solving that problem here in the morning ritual for myself, because if I do the math, what is it if I play 16th notes, or if I play 16th note triplets at 60 beats per minute? What is the equivalent at 90 beats per minute? Yeah, those are the things I think about. So 1E, and I really want to keep it consistent for me. Every morning I want to hear 60. This is my point of reference, and then fingers 1, 2, and 3, and 10, 11, and 12. 1E and a 2E and a TE and a OE and a... Hey, Milk Man's kid, what's going on? That's a good one. G sustain, that's great. Just what sing? How can I help? When we get back to, we're going to get back up here to 4 attacks per beat on 4 fingers, and we're just going to start with 6 attacks per beat. I've just got to change the tempo up a little bit here. We have a lot to cover, and I want to try to not sacrifice quality, but I only have an hour here, so I just really want to focus on getting those 16th notes in there, those sextuplets or whatever. So here we go. Fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hey, we're at 20 legs. Let's go ahead and stretch real quick. So straight elbow, and that's what I'm doing right now. I've got to get that straight elbow in there, and then that quick stretch. Just 15 clicks here. 15 clicks is all we need. Now's a great time if you have questions, because I'll be here for another 40 seconds. 50 seconds, 45 seconds here and now. And if you have questions, now's a great time. If not, then that's excellent. We'll continue moving right along. I just really appreciate you being here. This morning is it's kind of day 2 of the week, of our guitar work week. We'll call it a work week, and we're basically revisiting Mr. Eric Johnson's Cliffs of Dover piece of music, his guitar work, the Texas Ranger himself, and then we've got this really nice, the Tone Ranger. The Tone Ranger is what, he's a Tone Ranger. He's what you call a rare bird, and for certain, he's got this really great technique, and he likes to use octaves and fifths a lot, and then by using roots and fifths a lot in his playing, you can really benefit from hearing those color tones apply. So I'm going to stretch my shoulders back just to get rid of this, sort of like knuckle dragging posture. All right. Hello, are you practicing monochromatic scales, or what notes are you hitting? Oh, that's it. That's how I look myself in the mirror every morning and I say, man, what notes are you hitting? See you later, Sky. Gotta go. Catch you all tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful morning. Good catch, Bernard. So 1E, I'm using fingers 1, 2, 3, 4 on frets 9, 10, 11, and 12. This is specifically designed to exercise the fingers, and it's one of those things that I'll play this for the rest of my life, right? And variations thereof, right? So 1E and now we're using six attacks per beat. And this will be a little different for me because the electric guitar, my picking sequences feel a little different on the electric guitar. So let's see if I can make it through this entire exercise. but it's all 1, 2, 3, 4 on even on every string. Ascend the position and then descend the position and then descend the pattern. Descend the position, ascend the pattern, and then descend the position and descend the pattern. Alright, so hundreds, probably thousands of ways to do this, but I'm just taking a very simple, straightforward approach. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 2, here we go. It's a Schechter, a 96. Traditional. It's got a Lindy Frameless pickup sound in it, and a George L cable is plugged into it, and then plugged into a little Fender champ. And a TC Electronics flashback delayed looper pedal. It's got the absolute best piece of quarter sawn wood I've ever seen for the neck. The maple neck is second to none. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen thousands, played thousands, owned thousands. I've never seen a neck. Anthony's working on a song. Anthony Torrell is working on a song. There will never be another you. And that's the way I feel about this guitar neck right here. This guitar neck is just super, super like perfect. It's hard to express like how perfect it is. All of the grains like perfectly straight, and it's not often. I've never seen anything like it, like I said, but it's a keeper. You know what I mean? It's a keeper for certain. So let's go ahead and do fingers 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. Same thing. 9, 10. Oh, you can hear the dynamic delay going here. 1, 2, 3. It's a real dream machine. Hey, we've got Corcus from Greece. Welcome. Congratulations, Scott, on your Sterling, on your Schechter. If you're not familiar with Schechter's backstory, this is one of the original California customs. It's one of the original ones. And I take really good care of it, as you should. Schechter is just a really great manufacturer, and like the heel joint or the neck pocket, the neck is cut perfectly. The heel joint in the neck and the neck pocket of the guitar is cut absolutely perfectly. And there is absolutely, it's like opening up an Apple product container. You know what I mean? It takes like 7 seconds to open it. You have to like, it's really something. And there I go, not stretching that 4th finger. I get so excited talking guitar about it. So one finger thing, same episode, fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, but we'll kick in that 1st finger back this time. 1 and a 2 and a T and a 4 and a 8, 10, 11, and 12. And I feel like the tone's coming here. It takes me a little bit of time to get warmed up to the electric guitar and letting the, basically letting the amp do the work. But I think I'm, mistakes aside, I think I'm there pretty much. I mean, obviously, we're never really there, but we can always use it. We always have room for improvement. But I feel like I'm getting, you know, a little bit closer to being more responsive to the needs of the guitar for the purposes of dynamic presentation. Those hammer-ons were so fast. Did I miss something? I think I missed something. Sweep picking, I guess you call that what you did a bit earlier. Oh, let me think a little bit about what I did a little earlier. I wanted to get right, while I'm thinking about that, Milkman, I'd like to start working on fingers 1. I'd like to stretch fingers 1 and 3 for this exercise, so I'm going to work on a stretch between fingers 1 and 2, and then using that same 4-finger pattern. If you want to really look at a bunch of 4-finger patterns, go check out Raul McWenna's guitar YouTube channel. He's just laying it all down, just checking it out. Just some of his videos are really outlining some wild finger patterns, and you know, can't hurt to check those out. So 1, that's what it's going to look like. 10, 11, or 9, 11, 12, and 14 for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's super slow process. It is a super slow process. And then one day it's like riding a bike, and then you all of a sudden just can ride a bike. Getting a little sloppy down there. Clean up my act here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to work on this really cool pattern. I'm just going to stretch again real quick, just because straight arm, straight elbow is good. Just got a little bit of tension building up there, and want to take a minute to breathe. So anytime you feel that tension mounting up, don't forget, you can stop, take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. The guitar will be there, and you'll be a better person once we get back to the guitar from a stretch period. Just a brief stretch. 15 clicks here, 15 clicks here. The same thing that we do here, we will complete on both arms so that we walk normally. And I would recommend that every day before and after you practice your guitar to stretch. Just stretch your body out. Some forward bends, some light yoga, or whatever, 10-20 minutes would be awesome, would be great. Half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever you have for time. But it's a good thing to do. A good thing to do to keep that body aligned. It does take time. It can take time to get the alternate picking sequencing together. Anything together, really, right? Tying your shoes. All right. Yeah, the Yamaha makes some great guitars too, don't they? You aren't playing to the metronome, right? Well, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So I always get the metronome on my mind, and sometimes it will leave my mind. But it's there. Here we go. I really like the Yamaha. Thank you. Okay, there's between Yamaha positive grid. Very cool, Octavio. I love that positive grid stuff. That stuff sounds great. Feels good too, you know. The Neural DSP stuff is great. The Axe FX3 is awesome. We've recorded a few tracks with those. Yep, getting teachers from a few teachers doesn't hurt. I think unless they are wildly different, I suppose. No, I think it's love the green. The green's great, isn't it? Can you play Yellow from Coldplay? I can. Great question. So let's go ahead and take a look at this other, the exercise I really want to get after before we start shifting gears today. And I'll probably go back to 4 attacks per beat to just kind of manage this one. It's taking that 9th position, the 1, 2, 3, 4 that we normally would do, and then just kind of using fingers 1, 2, stretch the 3rd finger up to 12. So 9, 11, 9, 10, 12, and 13. Maybe we'll use 5s here, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smile. So that's one that I really wanted to. I need a voice mic, huh? That's a good point. I was thinking the same thing. How important do you feel is it to know every note on the fretboard by heart? Absolutely imperative. I mean, just looking at the string and fret. Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend it. So it's not imperative. You know, you can play by ear, but it might be helpful for us one time to know where we're, you know, what key we're in, which notes work, which notes don't work. Here we're going to start with minor pentatonic. So let's just start with this. This is all going to be plucked, and then either as we ascend, hammer on, and then pull off is going to be one attack per string. And 16th, what are we doing? Popa capital. Bubba da bugga da bugga da bugga da. Here we go to the boda. Being careful of tone. For everyone, nice to have you here. Hey, Healthy Family Force, what's going on this morning? Nice to see you again. Matiko, good morning, Matiko. You're just in time for the Cliffs of Dover dive. We're just kind of still warming up to Cliffs of Dover. So we're starting with just E minor pentatonic, which we worked through. You know, so we wanted to learn how to slur from one note to next. And then pull out, you know, when we ascend, we pluck one attack per string and then hammer on. And then on the descend, we'll go ahead and pluck and then pull. And make those super long legato, clean tones. Every note has the same sound pressure level or dynamic level. So if I pluck this one lightly, I'll pull off lightly. So there's a little bit of a, so that I don't yank the string off of the string, the fretboard, you know, like this when I pull off. I could push off. I'm not a big fan of the push off. I have some friends who learn push offs, and I don't typically do those, but you know, I'll suffer probably in my lifetime because of it, but whatever. So I'm going to use these pull-offs, but when I do these pull-offs, I want to offer, so I'm two things. I'm pulling down with the finger that is committing the pull-off, and then I'm pushing a counter pressure. So while I'm pulling down with the pinky, I'm pushing up with the index finger to counter that pull down. But then, so I've got this little burst of like push and pull. But then by the time I pull off, that push up with the first finger is gone at the same time. So there's no bend in pitch. That's why we wanted to do these things slowly here. Anytime you hear a pull off, that's likely what's happening. We don't really deal with that with hammer-ons though, do we? Easy, controlled, like fret hand work. Now the thing that he does that we're going to talk a little bit about here is right, we're working on just ascending triadic pieces, like here's the G chord. He's not really a huge he plays arpeggios, but we're really working on just outlining the arpeggio for the purpose of creating beautiful, clean, melodic experience. So every note, as we slide up to fret 7, is choked off, so we don't have one note bleeding on top of the other one. Do you know what I mean? So it's very it's an intensive. It's totally intended to be a single note line. And then I can coax more tone out of the guitar by not pushing the strings too hard with my picking hand. Then the second time, instead of just just getting up to fret 10, we actually play open G. So this is where the guitar has to be like perfectly in tune. There it is. So we're using an open G, and this is what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about he likes to play root notes, octaves, and then fifths. And then when we come back to that single note, there's quite a bit of vibrato applied here. And it's usually, if you listen to the tempo of the song, the vibrato is usually like broken down into, subdivided into like a rhythmic, it's absorbed into the rhythmic parameters of the breakdowns, subdivisions of the song. So it's not like he's just arbitrarily playing, oh, I'll just wiggle the string when I want. You can hear the metronome clicking at 1E and 2. So that's what's happening. So the phrasing here, this is a master class in learning about how to minor pentatonicism or pentatonicism in general and lyrical melodic phrasing through, you know, major scale presentation. So very cool stuff. We're working just right into a power chord. And then the next lick, so what he's doing after this, right? We're going to C5. So I don't know how many of us play C5 like, I think C5 like Black Sabbath's C5. Do you know what I mean? I always think about C5 like it's either a root 6, I'm playing Megadeth, or I'm playing Metallica's, you know, For Whom the Bell Tolls, or it's, I almost never think about power chords as being root 3 chords. Root being on the 3rd string, right? So G, A, B, C, G, A, B, and then C. So we're playing, the guitar is not perfectly in tune, but it'll be okay for now, I think. So we started here with the slide up to the G. Then we change position here, and so we're hearing like we're moving out of that, instead of playing C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic, instead of playing there, he decides to get that melody kind of lifted up into the next position. Into the next position of the minor or the pentatonic scale. So he's taking one step here in using a power chord, but then separating the melody up into a different position. Even though what he played here, he could have as easily just played that line right here. But instead of doing that, you don't have that phrasing, right? So this is really important. Phrasing is super important. We could accomplish the same thing in one position, but we don't get that same flavor in that. It's a little harder to bend that high E string a whole step, you know, it just doesn't, you know, it would have to be under the first finger. So it makes sense if you wanted that bend to move that up and out of the position. You know, it's that Hendrix sort of like house shape, right? Here's one wall, here's the other wall, and here's that triangular pattern for the roof. right? So that's pretty much what's going on there. It's just how he gets around. And then there's this other thing that we're going to talk about a little later. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how to use the fingers. So we're also using, this is some hybrid picking sequencing, right? So we're plucking the pick, then we're introducing the middle finger, right? So the middle finger is going to be doing some work too. Could be the ring finger, you know, if you're Danny Gatton, or if you're, you know, it depends. But I think I'm basically just going to stick with what works for me. That's the pick and the middle finger. So this is an exercise that is basically designed to prepare us for the things, the complicated things that are coming in the sound. Right, these are totally complicated things. But I wanted to talk to you about, I want to come back to triads one more time. I know we're getting ready to jump. I can do this in less than 3 minutes. We're up on position number 17, and all we want to do is take a look at this, the G, the C, and the E notes here, okay? And then this D chord on frets 19 on the D, G, and D strings. And then we're looking at A, D, and F sharp here. So G, C, and E, A, D, F sharp. You know, if you want to know the names of the notes, there they are. If you don't want to know the names of the notes, who cares? You know, let them go. Doesn't matter. But the idea is that let me outline this. I'm descending that D major triad, and then I'm ascending the C major triad. Descending the D major triad, ascending the C major triad. 19 on the B, G, and D, and then D, G, and B on fret 17. But between every note, there's a common tone which the middle finger is going to make reference or attack, provide the attack. So we have this really cool. So let's do this with the metronome, because this can get a little bit challenging for me. So I'm starting with the upstroke, which would be an upstroke with the middle finger on the 15th fret on the high E string. That 15th fret goes nowhere. You can staple it right down. And we want to make sure that this is nice and clean. We get all of the spatial intelligence in place. Then I made it finally accurately to fret 15 or 17. There we go. So we're descending the D major triad and then ascending the C major triad, all while referencing. So 1E and a 2E and a TE and a 4E and a. We're in a different time signature here, but this is pretty much what's going on. I would just work on speeding that up over time. Don't forget to breathe. I've got to remind myself to breathe, but we're talking about spatial differences from here every time we consult with the G string, the B string, the middle fingers are close together. The G string, these fingers separate, and the D and B strings, they start to get further apart. So we're really studying multiple things at one time. So I would just recommend just taking our time and really enjoying these pieces and just dissecting those little phrases and those little pieces. All right, so I really appreciate you being here. I know Kevin's getting ready to jump on and say, have a good day, gang. So I'm going to join him in that, keeping us on time. I know your seat time is irreplaceable, so I don't want to coax you into staying here indefinitely. You do have other things to do, and I definitely appreciate and value that. So I will see you again tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will continue on with 2 more figures before we actually start. We are going to dismantle the introduction of Cliffs of Dover this week, and we are going to learn this week. So if you have questions, or if you want any of the music for that, hit my email at jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com, and we can get you ready for days to come. We only have a few more days this week, so let's get on it. All right, have a great day, everybody, and I'm going to jump. And awesome, Jason, really cool stuff. Thanks for, Ben F, thanks for being here. Thank you for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. Same thing, same bat time, same bat channel. Hey, Jill, good morning. Glad to have you back. All right, lots to do. So until we meet again, happy picking. Yep.